It's your boy, the Fett here, another Orioles review. First off, I want to give a shout out to our sponsors, A&B Masonry, your first and second option in the masonry in Northeast Ohio. Those guys do great work. Please, if you can, there should be a description in the like box and the comment box. Go ahead, give them a call if you need some masonry work done. So let's get started. Orioles review of the 4-game stand against the Indians. We knew going into the series that the Indians were the better team, okay? There's no doubt about it. They got better pitching, and they hit the ball way better than us. So, overall, the Indians took 2 out of 3, and they scalped the Birds. The only bright spot, Game 1, where the Orioles won 3-1. Let's go ahead and dive into that game. Game 1, like I said, the Orioles win 3-1. Dylan Bundy, I can't say enough about him, our ace, our number one. He goes 6 innings, gives up 5 hits, 1 earned run, 9 strikeouts. His ERA is 1.42. That's great. We have not had a dominant ace in a while. I mean, I'm going to go ahead and say it since the Musina days. Tillman, if you want to count him, maybe in the mid-2000s, late 2000s, but no, we haven't had one in a while. So Bundy, the ace, gets a W. Machado's bat is on fire. He hits a home run in this game, his average, 338. He's got a nice little hit streak going that he continued through the series. But I also got to give it up to O'Day. He got the save, and Bleer, man, he got the hold. This Bleer dude, if you guys don't know who he is, he's coming out of the bullpen. He's getting our holds for us. His ERA is below 1. I mean, he's just a monster, and I got to give it up to him. They won this 3-1, the Friday game. I also had the attendance was over 20,000. Woo! The stands didn't look so empty, but we still had some bad. The bats went 6 for 29 with 6 Ks, and I have the ugly written down. Go figure, Chris Davis is going to lead this area for this game. He goes 2 for 4, but that brings his average up to a team. Well, he's an everyday guy, so his batting average is 1.67 after Game 1. Once again, I'm going to hint at it again. We are paying a guy $23 million against our salary, okay, for the team, to bat 167 and strike out 1 to 4 times a game, okay? Didn't strike out this game, okay? So there's a little loophole here, but he's still batting 167. Defensively, he's not a liability. He's a pretty average. He's actually a pretty good first baseman defensively, but I don't know when the bat's going to warm up, if ever again. We may never see the 2014 Chris Davis again. So let's continue on as we go to Game 2. Man, the Orioles lose 4-0, a complete game shutout by Mike Clevenger, the Cleveland Indians. He pitched great, was a great game for him, but we helped him going 2 for 29. That's right, my ugly is the bats. 2 for 29, just ice cold. Only 3 strikeouts, but you bat 2 for 29. That's a lot of ground balls and a lot of fly balls. I mean, who else on this team besides Machado is hitting right now? I mean, the good is Machado extended his hit streak, and Cisco's defense at catcher, man, he saved Tillman on a couple wild pitches, and there were some he couldn't save because Tillman was the bad. Tillman goes 6 innings, he gives up 8 hits, 4 earned runs, 4 runs, 5 Ks, 3 home runs, okay? For the game, Tillman's ERA was floating around 11. Due to the fact he didn't give 6 runs up, his ERA dropped to 9.87. Still took the loss. He finally got some strikeouts, but he was horrible. There were a couple pitches. I mean, I don't know how many wild pitches he threw, as well as I almost watched him bust his behind trying to step towards the plate. He just is, I don't know if it's a confidence thing or what with him, man, but he is a shell of what he was. And he does not deserve to be starting right now in the back end of the rotation because he is a liability every game he starts. And I mean, I would much rather us bring up one of our prospects and let them start and get. I mean, if we're going to lose, you might as well bring a prospect up. Let's see what he's got. Let's see if he's going to fast track his way up. Because Chris Tillman's not doing anything for us. He's a waste of $3 million against the cap. So the Orioles lose 4-0. Like I said, nobody else really hitting. Machado extends his hit streak. That's the positive. And, man, Cisco's, like I said, Cisco played great behind the plate for having to deal with Tillman. All right? Moving along a little quicker. Game 3, all right? This one hurt me a lot. I watched it, too. I watched all these games except Monday's. They lose 3-7. Klubot gets support from the Tribe batters. The good is, the only good thing about this game was Machado belts 2 home runs off one of the best pitchers in baseball. Manny Machado is extending his hitting streak here as well as showing his prominence as a young player. So Orioles management, if you can hear me, I hope you saw what Manny Machado did all weekend against one of the best pitching teams in baseball. I hope you realize that man is worth $30 million a year, all right? You need to restructure Chris Davis. You need to cut that 23 down to about 13, all right? And you need to re-sign Manny Machado because he is a monster. And you know what? If you guys don't and you don't want him anymore, at least trade him before the deadline so you can get something out of him because he's a free agent. He walks at the end of the year. I just don't think there's anything we can do to keep him except throw mad money that we don't have. The only way we're going to have mad money is if we restructure the whole team's salaries. So, Manny Machado, he's the good. The bad is the bats were 6 for 32. You know who had 3 of those 6 hits? Manny Machado. Just embarrassing. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys that played in this game are batting under 200. Danny Valencia, Chris Davis, Caleb Joseph, Beckham, Gentry, Cedenius, and Santidar. All are batting under 200. Okay? 7 guys, all right, in the hitting lineup that are batting under 200. That is horrible. We are... I know we're missing Trumbo. I know we're missing Scoop, all right? But something's got to give, guys. I mean, the bats are ice cold. It's not that they're not swinging the bats. I mean, they are because they're striking out a decent amount. But, I mean, we're just not getting on base, and we're not putting runs home. So Cashner did his job. He was still part of the bad. He went 6 innings. He gave up 8 hits, 4 runs, 4 earned runs, 7 Ks, 1 home run. Can't really be mad about that stat line. I mean, 4 runs is pretty decent. He went 6 innings, 7 strikeouts, so he was pretty decent. He didn't lose the game for us entirely either. I mean, he got credited with the loss, but honestly, if you want to know what blew it and it was the ugly of this game, look at none other than the closer, Brad Brock. Comes in, it's a 3-4 game in the 9th, all right? What does Brock do? Oh, did he implode, all right? Gives up 4 hits, 3 earned runs, and a home run. The Orioles end up losing 7-3. So instead of giving the bats a little source of optimism and maybe having a little bit of a rally comeback in the 9th, nah, there was none. Brock made sure that there was none. So, like I said, nothing really positive except Manny Machado hitting 2 home runs off Kluber for this game. I would like to bury this out of my memory thanks to Brock. Game 4 was a pitching duel between Gausman and Carrasco. The good, Gausman was awesome. He was electric. He went 8 innings. He gave 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 7 Ks, and 1 home run. Okay? You can't ask for a better stat line from your number 2 pitcher, all right, behind Bundy. Like, both Bundy got the win, and he got lucky because he got run support. Gausman did not get run support, and he took an L. And, Gausman's good, too. He's finally starting to heat up. 7 Ks, that's good. But just a total embarrassment at the plate. The bats were 7 for 32. We had 11 Ks. And that's the bad. Can you guess who had 3 of those 11 strikeouts? Yeah, that's right. Mr. $23 million, Chris Davis himself. Just terrible. The ugly were the bats. No run support. I know it was a pitching duel, and Carrasco did strike out a bunch of guys, but I just don't know how we're going to win many more baseball games. I keep saying it, but we're headed towards a 100-loss season, Oriole fans. I'm already calling it. There's no turnaround. They got 6 wins right now. It's at 6-17. All right, we're in 11.5 games out of first place, and we're 3-7 at home and 3-10 on the road. 4-6 in the division. It's a shame. Thank goodness for the White Sox, the Royals, because those two teams both only have 5 wins in the AL. So technically, we are not the worst AL team, but we should be. Like I said, we actually have as many losses as Texas. Texas has 17 losses too, but Texas has 8 wins. So, the ugly, like I said, is the bats, just ice cold, no run support. And, I'm not going to blame Buck for this series. He did a nice job with the pitchers, not letting Cobb in, because Cobb would have imploded just as bad as Tillman. And, I get real tired of watching games and, Chris Davis striking out and 7 guys in the lineup that are batting under 200. I mean, we got Manny Machado batting an astounding like 338. He's climbing the home runs. This is not the way, you want to go. To hit on Machado a little more, the dude is batting 360 as of right now. Like, I just don't get it. He's had 8 home runs, 17 RBIs. He's even got a stolen base. I don't know what else to say. Machado is 15th in RBIs with 17. Like I said, I don't know where to go after this because Manny Machado is everything. Mike Trout leads the majors in baseball home runs with 10, but Machado's tied for second with Blackmon, Didi Gregorius, Hanger, Harper. I mean, what more can you ask? I mean, Manny Machado, all he's doing is solidifying himself for free agency. He is hitting, he's fielding, he's making great plays at short. He still looks rusty here and there, but by the end of the year, the rust, I think, will all be off, and we're going to see a prime shortstop at, 20, I think it's 25, 26 years old. Moment of silence there for, all the optimism that I just lost doing this cast because it really sunk in, guys. Like, the bats are frozen. We're using a bunch of Rule 5 guys. We gave a pitcher in Cobb $60 million, and he has been shelled in his 2 starts. We have Chris Davis, who's batting like 163, and he's getting paid $23 million. And we're about to lose 2 of our best players next year in free agency, Adam Jones and Manny Machado. I don't know how many games you're going to win with 5 to 7 guys in your lineup batting under 200. Manny looks great. I think we need Scoop back at second, and I think Trumbo coming back is going to give us some help. I don't think Gentry's an everyday guy we can count on. And I didn't reference this earlier, but Trey Mancini did get hurt. He required stitches after Game 1, sliding into the brick wall. He got right underneath the padding, nicked his knee up a bit, had stitches, had some swelling, so they held him out the rest of the series. He missed 3 games. He's going to be back against the Devil Rays, but you guys get the gist of it. Maybe we ran into the Indians, who are finally heating up after a cold start. Normally what happens with baseball in April in Cleveland is it's still snowing here every other day, and we're getting some nasty rain starting to come, but maybe that's what it was. We ran into a team that was ready to start getting hot, and they sure did. They took 3 out of 4 from us after that opening loss. You can totally tell the difference in these 2 ball clubs. They are way more balanced than we are. Yes, they have Frankie Lindor and Jose Ramirez and Jason Kipnis. Michael Brantley is looking healthy. I have to give credit to Michael Brantley. I did not think he was going to be the same player, but tip of the cap to him. He played great all series. And the Indians' pitching was lights out. Klubat, Clevenger, Carrasco. The only one that struggled a bit was Bauer, and Bauer only gave up 3 runs that first game. He could have won easily. He just didn't get his support on his side of the house. I know Edward Encarnacion is struggling for the Indians, but overall, their bats were there. They took advantage of our miscues. They destroyed Tillman. There's just not a lot of optimism looking towards the rest of the season as we play the Devil Rays next. We got to get something together. With the Rays, we got postponed last night. We got 2 against the Rays. We're at home for 3 more against the Tigers before we get an off day on the 30th. And then, we head into the Angels, and we take a West Coast trip at the beginning of May. So in conclusion, like I said, the bats are frozen. Pitching, what I've been complaining about for the last probably week on my reviews, must have heard me because they played great. It wasn't their fault this series. It was the bats. And we just got to get somebody to hit other than Manny. And until then, we are going to continue taking these L's. So this is the Fett. You listened to my review of the Indians-Orioles 4-game series. Hope you enjoyed it. Give me a like. Subscribe to me if you want to leave some comments for me or disagree with me or talk some baseball. I'm totally happy to do that. So, thanks, guys.